Carolina 17-13 winners over the New Orleans Saints. This is a game that you, Sir Ben Mankiewicz, predicted on this very medium, that the Saints would not necessarily trounce the Panthers, but they would beat the Panthers.
I had 3.5 points. You know, they were 3.5-point underdogs.
And of course, I did not have that pick.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, until the last for 59 minutes,
55 seconds.
Yeah. And what was amazing is that this Cam Newton threw for 100, This Cam Newton threw for.
He sounded like Gruden.
Threw for 116 yards through up till that last minute of the game, and then he threw for 65 yards on that drive. So you know, when we get to my jerk of the week is going to be.
No, don't reveal it yet.
All right, well, it's related to that game, and it's not because...
Salad tease.
Yeah, I was stunned to see them go the length of the field. You know, getting into field goal range, you half expected, and from a gambling point of view, I thought, okay, I don't care if you tie the game. This didn't feel like a game was going to get won by a Panthers touchdown in overtime, so I thought somebody will win this game by 3 in overtime.
Let alone Domenik Hixon.
Right, and to go the length of the field, get that touchdown there, after you had, you know, I think they'd had 5 or 6 straight 3-and-outs the Panthers had.
Something like that, yeah.
When you have a chance, when everybody in the league knows, and you know in your hearts, we're not the same team on the road, right? We got a problem on the road, away from home. And here's a chance to clinch the division, right? Because they would have swept the Panthers, so that would have been it. Guarantee you play at home with a shot at a bye. Yeah. Right, or you know, likelihood of a bye at that point, being able to get a bye and a playoff game at home, and then you go to Seattle. Maybe somebody knocks the Seahawks off, and you don't have to go there. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. That's bad. It was a really bad 55 seconds for the New Orleans Saints. Really bad.
By the way, Carolina, they can clinch the NFC South in a first-round bye with a win or a New Orleans loss.
Right.
So there you go for next week. They play against Atlanta at Atlanta, so it makes it a little more interesting that they're going to Atlanta.
Going to Atlanta, and the Saints won't. The Saints aren't going to lose, so the Panthers are going to have to win that game.
Absolutely. By the way, you talked about how, you know, the last 55 seconds of the game was horrible for the Saints defense. They started on the 35-yard line. Carolina started on their own 35. Steve Smith goes out with an injury.
Right. I mean, that's the other thing. 65 yards, length of the field, no Steve Smith.
Yeah. It seems improbable that it would happen.
And after the way they'd shut him down, I don't know what changes were made, if any changes were made. You know, you can't. If they're in some prevent defense. I mean, first of all, Newton made a big throw to Ted Ginn,
who, by the way, looks like a great pickup now for the Panthers.
And he picked up, you know, I think 37 yards.
He's improved greatly.
So they were almost in field goal range based on that one play. It was also a lousy punt for whatever it's worth. It was a 37-yard punt in that situation.
Yeah, good
matters.
Call. Good call.
And left him at the 35-yard line. You know, your 35-yard line, you only need 30 yards to try a 53-yard field goal that everybody makes. It's a nice day. It's a clear day. It's an easy day. And it was
not a clear day.
No,
it was
no
like
longer.
Crazy.
Right, by then it was raining like crazy. Or not. It had been rained like crazy, and then it was raining less crazy.
The field was drenched. Maybe that was the reason Steve Smith was injured.
All right, so let's say that's a fair point. So you need 40 yards to make it a 43-yard field goal, but you'll still probably, you know, 35 yards, 48 yards. Most guys make it. Even, you know, there's no wind.
Except for Robbie Gould and Mark Trestman.
Second down. Hey, 9-6, you'd have won the division.
No, totally. Yeah. By the way, Carolina, were they outmatched in this game? They were outgained by 143 yards, 81 offensive plays for the plays. I sounded like Jake Bilgo. 81 offensive plays for the Saints to the Panthers 44. On third down, did you see this number?
No.
0 for 9.
Yeah, well, they had 6 straight 3-and-outs. I'm right about that. Either 5 or 6 straight 3-and-outs. And then to be able to, it's crazy that they gave a touchdown on the drive. It's understandable if they gave up a game-tying field goal on that drive.
Sure.
But not to give up a touchdown. It's egregious when it was the defining moment of the Saints season. Are they different? Can they win away? Can they win a game against a good team away from home? And they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And now they might miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't see
amazingly.
So we keep saying they're going to beat the Buccaneers. I think they will, but look, the Buccaneers are competent. Yeah, look, the Saints at home should throttle the Buccaneers.
They will, but I mean, there's still that little glimmer of hope for all the Panthers fans that the Saints don't make the playoffs, and that amazes me that they could somehow not make the playoffs.